I dream of it, amongst the wild threads of history and the myriad of paths. My path saw the Imperium rise from the ashes left in the wake of the Great Revolt. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of the human mind. With that commandment, new avenues of human potential were explored. Mentats, Suk Doctors, Sword Masters, and the mystical Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. But it was the navigators and their monopoly on space travel that set the conditions for the Imperium. But I am telling you of the universe you already know. Let me describe the one you do not. In this other universe, my mother, Lady Jessica, consort to Duke Leto Atreides, gave birth to a daughter, a girl they named Ariste. Because of her obedience to the Bene Gesserit, Lady Jessica is trained as a truth-sayer. Because of that training, Lady Jessica was able to detect Dr. Yue's deception. Because of the forewarning of his betrayal, House Atreides survived the Battle of Arrakis. Because of their survival, the Emperor declared a full-scale war of assassins. Because of the war, the Sardaukar were deployed to ensure spice shipments continued without interruption. Because of the Sardaukar, the Fremen were eradicated. There was no Muad'Dib, no Lisan al-Gaib, no Kwisatz Haderach. I see a universe where I, Paul Atreides, was never born. All my visions lead to horror, except this one. This one leads to you.
The chamber breathes with stillness, lit only by the cold, steady luminescence of a single glow globe suspended in the air like a captured moon. Its light spills across worn stone and deep shadow, revealing an old woman robed in loose black garments that seem to drink in the darkness. She sits unmoving, yet the weight of her presence reaches across the space like a gravity of thought. Her eyes, ancient, unyielding, fix upon us with a gaze that pierces not out of curiosity, but certainty. We are not unknown to her. Though seated at a distance, her voice cuts through the chamber with disquieting precision, as if the air itself bends to carry her words. Each syllable strikes the ear and then drifts away, echoing softly against the chamber walls. Beneath her speech, a quiet sound flows, persistent and gentle, the susurrus of water winding through a narrow fountain path that runs beside the one we tread. It murmurs like a memory, half remembered, whispering truths just beyond reach.
We hail from Chusuk, the verdant cradle of harmony and cultivation. It is a world of emerald hills and fertile river valleys, where the breath of the land sings in rhythm with the seasons. Among the spheres of the Imperium, Chusuk is whispered of as the music planet, where beauty is currency and civility is a cultivated art. Culture here is not mere ornament, but a discipline, a force as potent as any blade or spice contract. We belong to the caste of bondsmen, an educated, oath-bound stratum, woven deep into the machinery of power. To the great houses, we are the quiet stewards of continuity, trusted with administration, diplomacy, and the subtle enforcement of imperial order. Among common tongues, we are referred to as the citizen class, a name that belies the weight we carry and the secrets we are trained to guard. It was under the patient scrutiny of a Bene Gesserit mentor that we were drawn into the veiled doctrines of the sisterhood. She taught not through command, but through silence. Each lesson a trap for the mind, each word a thread of purpose in an invisible design. The agendas of the Bene Gesserit are layered in riddles, buried beneath centuries of planning and sacrifice. To the noble houses, their adepts are rare and priceless, sought after, envied, possessed. To the rest of the Imperium, they are ghosts in human flesh, feared, mistrusted, and never fully understood. We learn to listen as they do, to observe, to endure, and in doing so we came to know this truth. Power wears many faces, but it always listens to those who speak in whispers.
Come here. Kneel. Put your hand in the box. I hold at your neck the Gom-Jabbar, the high-handed enemy. Don't pull away or you will die. Great plots are afoot in the Imperium, and the currents of intrigue run deeply. Arrakis is the key, and the Fremen are missing. You will go to Arrakis as our agent, prisoner. You have one task. Find the Fremen. Wake the sleeper. Everything depends on this. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. You speak truth. But here is the rest of it. There is only one rule. Keep your hand in the box and live. Withdraw it and die. An animal would gnaw off its own hand to escape the pain. And we can only be served by humans. Find the Fremen. Wake the sleeper. You will know when it is done.
just an off-worlder. No, not the Al-Shaid Ahadid. No, Arista said it was just a dream. I agree, but she is almost Sayadina.
So then, you're not quite dead. Now you will know a thing that few but the Fremen have seen. For many, the last thing they saw before they were slaughtered. Speak of our escape. Twin comets in the sky, a rebirth from fire and death, and a Sardaukar net closing around us. Your survival heralds interesting times, Off-Worlder. You found them, Off-Worlder. They stood watch over you while you slept.
The dead in the cave?
When the Sardaukar began their jihad, they hounded us across the desert.
Us? Are you Fremen?
I am not Fremen, Off-Worlder, though I have been fortunate to know them, and to share their water and their customs. Some of my people were caught out by a passing wing of Sardaukar thopters. All they could do was take refuge in the cave, and be ready for the assault to come.
What happened?
The assault never came. The Sardaukar used ancient weapons to collapse the cave entrance.
Your people were trapped.
With damaged still suits and dwindling supplies. We toiled for days to free them, digging until our fingers bled. And all the while we could hear their death chants. Red the night, dusky sky. Bloody death, didst thou die. An auspicious place for your rebirth, Off-Worlder.
Rebirth?
Whatever black fate awaited you in the Harkonnen slave pits waits for you no more. You are free from the bonds of servitude, free to pursue a new destiny, whatever that may be.
How did we come to crash?
A portable rocket, I surmise, based on the damage.
Why attack a prison ship?
No doubt the work of some desperate and dangerous outlaw. One with a burning hatred for the Emperor and all he represents. But there are so many fitting that description. There's a way through the barricade,
If you do as I say.
Tell me what to do.
We're gonna need one of their ornithopters. Their protocol is to remain aloft and kill anything that moves from above.
How do we get one down?
That's where you come in. If you can slip back onto the Proteus and locate the command module, you can activate the captain's personal emergency transmitter. He's a noble. They're not allowed to let him die. Leave the rest to me.
What about the other prisoners?
You must kill them. In other circumstances, their water would be a valuable resource. But with the Sardaukar here, we do not have time to claim them.
Kill them all?
Only those that get in your way. Think of it as a kindness. They will not survive Arrakis for long.
Aren't the Sardaukar here to protect us?
His Majesty's Imperial Sardaukar care for naught but the Emperor's interests. And certainly not an errant prison crew bound for the slave pits of Old Carthag. We are as vermin to them, off-worlder.
Enter the ship, find the captain, activate the transmitter. Anything else?
Yeah. Take this Communinet transceiver. It's essential for planetary communication. Now go, and be quick. The Mother Storm is upon us.
Goodbye.
Stick to the shadows, off-worlder. The heat of the sun is deadly to the unprepared. The guards have sealed themselves inside. Search the prisoners for a cut array. And off-worlder, be careful. The cut array is primarily a mining tool, off-worlder. You'll need it for harvesting resources. Using it to cut open ships is an added benefit. The captain's room is blocked by a pentashield. You'll need a pentashield key to pass through. See if there's another way forward. Ready your weapon, off-worlder. The guards won't hesitate. Neither should you. A swift attack can force your enemy off balance, but only a slow blade penetrates a shield. That's the pentashield key. Once you equip it, you can pass through the shield. Get to the captain and activate that transmitter. I'll be there soon.
We only need the leader. I hear I'm a wanted man.
Oi! Utland scum! I vits jo man tukta lasto breath ada hung unvalo arsund. De dia abada.
I know. That's why I brought you here. Thopter will have the codes to get us through the barrier. Ever fly an ornithopter? It's simple enough. But my leg is bad and I won't be able to work the pedals. Get ready. They'll be on us as soon as we break through. There's too many! Turn us into the storm! They won't follow. Hang on! We're going down!
Get up, Offworlder. I couldn't wait for you. But now you need to run. The sandworm is coming. Run! Now! You made it, Offworlder. Catch your breath. When the Thopter went down, the storm took us far off course. My leg is bad. I need to lay low and treat it before it gets worse. But fear not, Offworlder. Noctua can cover the ground between us with little effort. She will be my eye in the sky so I can continue to offer my sage advice and keep you on this side of the grave. Figure out how to craft yourself some clothing. That Maula outfit won't cut it out here.
Our sister of the Bene Gesserit, trained in the subtleties of body and mind, yet now stripped to the elemental struggle of survival. The sun-blasted landscape offers no mercy, only silence and the ceaseless thirst of a world without water. Every grain of sand is a whisper of death, and yet she endures. The Sardaukar hunt her, the Emperor's chosen fists bred for obedience, death, and domination. They are shadows with knives, and still she walks beyond their grasp. She travels by night, and the winds shift cold and the dunes sigh with forgotten echoes. It is then that the spice makes itself known. Melange, the ever-present breath of this planet. It clings to her robes, her skin, her thoughts. It speaks in visions beyond her closed eyes. She cannot escape it. The spice is everywhere. And with each inhalation, it deepens its hold, altering perception, expanding awareness. Time folds. Memory stretches. Futures rise like mirages. It is not merely influence, it is inevitability.
Observe this valley, sacred to the Equan Bedouin. Here, Wally faced the trials of Akul, proving their knowledge of the Fremen ways. Find the Fremen, she said. Seven tests, 7 steps. Set your feet. Follow the uncertain path. Keep moving. The only true death is stagnation.
The weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing. Do you understand, Wally? Our god gave us the burning eyes of Allat and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Rest in black shade. Be la kaif. When we began our wandering, we suffered, until suffering was a thing we came to know within our souls. Arrakis is suffering. When we found it, we were home. On Harmontep, we were made to suffer. Our children taken and made slaves. They denied us the Hajj. Never to forgive, never to forget. The weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing. Did not God give us the burning sun to defy? Suffering leads to defiance. And where does defiance lead? Defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks? Those who suffer. Remember Harmontep. Be la kaifa. Ibn Qurtayba. Defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks?
Those who suffer.
Those who suffer. Remember Harmontep. Be la kaifa.
Still there, Offworlder? Your signal drifted for a moment. No matter. A thought occurs. When the Sardaukar began their purge, many Fremen were slaughtered. The ones that were not abandoned their caves, leaving valuable resources behind. Valuable resources that just might contain the makings
of a still suit. Take what you need. Their ghosts will not object.
She had passed the first test. Not merely endured it, but absorbed it into her marrow. Survival was not enough. Survival without transformation was stagnation. The trial had stripped her to the essence of self, and what remained was no longer novice, but initiate. The dunes whispered of another test, always ahead, never fully seen. It lay buried beneath silence and mirage. Yet she knew the path forward. The spice had shown her glimpses. A shimmering cavern, voices that spoke not in words but in blood memory. The outline of a choice that would unravel her or define her. The desert was no longer an enemy. It had become a mirror, and in its reflection, she saw the shadow of what she might become. She had not been seeking it, at least not here, yet the land had its own designs. The cavern mouth was small, almost reluctant to reveal itself, as if guarding what lay within from unworthy eyes. Still, she felt the unmistakable vibration in her awareness. The second test might lie beyond that darkness, and as every Bene Gesserit knew, nothing hidden remained so by accident.
What is the purpose of thought? Ibn Qutayba. Speed is a device of Shaitan. Do you understand, Wali? Our God gave us the gift of thought, and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Knowledge without action is empty. Bila kaifa. Our wanderings brought us to Rome, where we persecuted. Our families burned in the fires of their ignorance. We learned the cost of inaction. Never to forgive, never to forget. Some were sent to work in mines. The tunnels were unstable. Their work made them more so. We learned the cost of action. Never to forgive, never to forget. It was on Rosek that the Sayadina created the poison drug. Words became memories. Through thought and action combined, we learned to create. The weight of a kindly God is a fearful thing. Did not God give us Shaitan to force action? And where does action lead? Thought and action lead to creation. What is the purpose of thought? To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Bila Kaifa. What is the purpose of thought?
To honor the Creator.
To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Bila Kaifa.
It was in the jagged crevice of a granite uprise that our sister found the hidden way. No map had guided her here, only instinct, sharpened by spice, and fragments of Zantara's teachings whispered in trance states. The rock face loomed, monolithic, ancient, untouched by time, yet vibrating with purpose. She traced her hand along the fissure, feeling a temperature shift, a subtle hum, like the stone remembered what had once passed through it. This was no natural break. It was carved, concealed, meant to be found only by one attuned to patterns beneath perception. She slipped inside the narrow passage. The air grew still, cooler, heavy with the breath of forgotten rituals. And there, nestled within the granite's heart, the chamber opened. A hidden altar, or what remained of it. But it was not hers alone to witness. The signs were undeniable. Boot scuffs in the dust, a faint trace of oil where none should be, the scent of metal left in still air. Others had come before, recently, deliberately. Their presence lingered like an unanswered question. The mural, the centerpiece of the chamber, was maimed. What once must have been a sprawling vision of myth and warning had been methodically scraped away. Not by time, but by decision. Someone had erased knowledge. Someone had feared what it might reveal. Only one thing remained, a recorder, positioned beneath the ruined mural like an offering or perhaps a snare.
Another altar destroyed by the Emperor's zealous dogs. So much wasted in the pursuit of this pogrom. So much lost. This altar seemed to depict Fremen being separated from their families. Enslaved? I could only decipher a few words. Slave cribs, Hodge, and oddly enough, the name of a planet. Bene Gesserit.
Thank you for watching Legion's cinematic presentation of Dune: Awakening. If you're enjoying the journey so far, let us know in the comments. Your voice shapes the future of this channel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated as we dive deeper into the world of Arrakis and other RPG titles. Once again, thank you, but the spice must flow, and so must the content. The sister paused, wind tugging at her robe, her senses attuned not just to the present terrain, but to the echoes that clung to it. Before her loomed the granite outcropping, vast and solemn, like the fossilized backbone of a slumbering titan. Its surface was a mottled brown, veined with iron and quartz, streaked by time and wind into a tapestry of scars. The stone rose in tiers, weathered into impossible bulges and overhangs, each a testament to the violence of geologic memory. It was no natural curiosity. It was a presence, ancient, watchful, a relic that had endured the forgotten epochs of human passage. Amid the fractured geometry of the rock, she found it, a concealed route, nearly invisible to the untrained eye. Handholds worn smooth with centuries of use. Ropes, cleverly anchored, their fibers blending with rust and stone. Not a simple ascent. This was a design, a path meant for the initiated. And beneath her calm exterior, the sister wondered, who first carved this route into the bones of the world? What secret called them here? And now, her.
The Sayadina and I made the long climb to hang a new prayer flag today. What a marvel that even in her advanced years, the Reverend Dejana can still scramble up the rocks like a spider. The only pity is, the prayer flag was of our own making. It seems an age since any siege community has gifted us with a woven symbol of devotion. There are so few pilgrims these days. But we here stayed true to our history and our faith, though the off-worlders daily encroach upon us with their mines and their harvesters, though a growing rabble of Kirab grows even bolder around our borders. We will remain faithful until the day we proudly answer the 7 mystic questions and pass into paradise with joy in our hearts.
the Creator, Ibn Qirtaiba. Our enemies are as blades of grass mown down. Do you understand, Wali? Creator, we fight. Remember Salusa Secundus, Bila Kaifa. Ibn Qirtaiba, the fire of God set alight. How do we honor the Creator?
We fight.
We fight. Remember Salusa Secundus, Bila Kaifa.
The sister rode across the scorched skin of Arrakis, her sandbike whispering over dunes like a blade through silk. Every crest of sand, every gust of wind, carried the weight of memory. Her eyes, trained beyond ordinary perception, scanned the horizon until something, an inconsistency in the way the wind curved, caught her attention. There, hidden beneath the sloping edge of a collapsed dune, was a crevice, narrow, unnatural, a wound in the earth not yet healed. It was not marked, but it was meant to be found. The crevice yawned before her, descending into shadow. Heat radiated from the stone like breath. This place had not seen light in generations, yet she felt its pull, the hum of ancient design woven through sand and rock. Below, perhaps, lay the next altar, another cipher in the labyrinth of memory, not a destination, but a test. And as all Bene Gesserit were taught, every test is both question and answer, depending on who survives the asking.
The Creator, Ibn Qirtaiba. May his passing cleanse the world. Do you understand, Wali? Our God gave us the gift of thought, and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar, their works have been overturned. Bila kaifa. Shai Hulud cleanses Arrakis, creates the air we breathe, the soft sand where we pitch our tents, and smites our enemies. We grew soft on poetry, an easy planet, and God brought the weight of kindliness to prepare us for the typhoon that comes.
The world is a carcass. Who can turn away the angel of death? Our footsteps are as the drums of the slavers, calling Shai Hulud upon our enemies.
Men must learn to live with their gods. Who can deny a friend the right to walk or ride where he wills? Only Shai Hulud, the Maker. may his passing cleanse the world. Remember Poritrin, Bene Kaifa. Ibn Kirtaiba, who is the creator?
The Maker, may his passing cleanse the world.
The Maker, may his passing cleanse the world. Remember Poritrin, Bene Kaifa.
It did not take long. Patterns emerged, fragments of old data, whispers in Fremen dialects, geomantic shifts in the landscape itself, all converging toward a single conclusion. The location of the sixth trial had revealed itself, not through luck, through design, through readiness. But clarity never came without its shadows. Movement had been observed in the outer ridges, erratic, unsanctioned, bandits, opportunists, clinging to the bones of civilization. Their presence was more than a nuisance. It was a disturbance in the pattern, a variable the sister had not yet accounted for. If they had discovered the altar, if their greed had defiled it, then the trial may already be compromised. And worse, its silence might no longer be sacred. Still, she pressed on. A damaged altar can still yield truth, if one knows how to listen through the ruin.
The Sardaukar destruction extends even to these small shrines. I cannot decipher their purpose, but the altar seems to have contained a quantity of spice. And the murals. Such beauty to be destroyed by the cut of a lasgun or blade. All I could decipher from here is another step on the journey of the Zensuni wanderers. Thurgrod. Perhaps there's some link between the Zensuni and the Fremen.
The pull had grown undeniable, a subtle but insistent tug in her awareness, drawing her toward the brink of a vast chasm. Its edges were jagged, like the torn lip of a wound in the planet's skin, and the wind that rose from its depths carried the scent of stone, long hidden from the sun. Somewhere far below, swallowed by shadow, lay the site of the next test. She could feel it, patient, waiting. To descend would require more than skill. It would demand surrender to the void, a leap of faith that bound her trust to both the reliability of her instruments and the unflinching steadiness of her own nerve. Yet even in success, the question lingered like a thorn. If she reached the altar, by what path could she return to the light above? She forced such doubts into the crucible of her discipline. Fear would be burned away. Hesitation would be tempered into resolve. She would strip herself of all that was superfluous until only the steeled shape of purpose remained. In that form alone could she face the chasm and survive its judgment.
Why were we created? Ibn Qirtaiba. The weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing. Do you understand, Wali? Our god gave us the Hurasikali Wana, the wind that eats flesh, and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Carry shelter always against the coming of Kralizek. Bila Kaifa. We were exiled from Nilotic al-Urobra for our unwillingness to fight. For our willingness to forgive. For our willingness to forget. And the judges said, mine enemies are like green blades eaten down, that did stand in the path of the tempest. Hast thou not seen what our Lord did? The weight of a kindly God is a fearful thing. Why did God create us? We are the action and knowledge of God, and He has prepared the way. Ibn Qirtaiba, the typhoon's struggle comes. Why were we created?
To survive Kralizek, the war at the end of the universe.
To survive Kralizek, the war at the end of the universe. Yahya Shuhada. Remember Nilotic al-Urobra. Bila Kaifa.
The desert lay bathed in moonlight, a pale, unbroken ocean stretching beyond sight. The sandbite carved its path in near silence, the soft growl of the engine swallowed by the endless hush of the dunes. Heat from the day still bled from the ground, curling into the cool night air in wavering streams. 7 trials. Each one had taken something from her and given something back. A reckoning of spirit, a sharpening of will. Now, only one remained. Then she saw it, between 2 ridges where shadows fused into a single black seam. The desert revealed its secret. Stone, weathered, deliberate, an entrance cut into the earth, half buried beneath centuries of drifting sand. It did not call to her, it waited, patient, unyielding, the 8th and final trial. Perhaps somewhere beyond the Fremen await.
We are the people of Misr. We have known flight and death. The young go on that our people shall not die. Where did our flight begin?
Nilotic al-Kuruba.
We grew soft, Wali. So God brought us the weight of kindliness to prepare for the typhoon. Name the planet where we lost our way.
Portran.
On our wanderings, we came to a planet devoid of gods, where war was constant and violence was religion. Have you learned its name, Wali?
Salusa Secundus.
We remember the slave cribs where we were held, weeded out, persecuted. Do you remember too, Wali?
Bella Tigus.
The thread of the past was carried by word until we found the poison drug. One of the cursed planets was a blessing for our Sayadina.
Rasik.
So many planets across so many centuries. Our people broke apart, split, reformed. Some planets we barely remember at all.
Thurgrad.
A long journey, young Wali. But we are almost home. Just one last place of suffering, where our children were taken and made slaves.
Harmanthet.
The time of Mihna has ended. Young Wali, pass within and seek your Ummah.
I am humbled.
The path of the Zensuni Exodus is rare and hidden knowledge. You are no Masquerade cultist. Who are you? What do you seek here?
I came in search of knowledge, as did you.
What makes you say that?
Your accent betrays you. Well-educated, probably highborn. Adventurous, seeking dangerous knowledge.
How astute. And your accent does the same. Born on Chusuk in a wealthy village to the south, unless I miss my guess. But you've fallen on hard times. That security door is encoded for Fremen biometrics. How did you bypass it?
It just opened. I'm not exactly sure.
Perhaps we can help each other.
Why? What do you want out of this place?
I'm a scholar of Fremen social, cultural, and philosophical constructs, both past and present. They fascinate me. And I've studied the layout of this place. It's a death trap. Between the Masquerade trying to blow their way in and the structural damage left by the Sardaukar, the whole thing could come crashing down.
The moment demands cooperation. Well then, I have your back.
And I have yours. The name's Ari.
So, who do you work for, Ari?
I serve no one. Let's say I'm something of a freebooting academic. And like you, my interests lie in discovering the true extent of the Fremen eradication. Or more to the point, discovering if that eradication even occurred.
If they're not dead, then where are they?
South, maybe. Arrakis is a big place. And while we like to think we're at the center of all things, in relative terms, the sphere of Imperial influence is rather small. They could be anywhere beyond the deep desert or the Tanzaruft, as it's known to the Ikhwan Bedouin.
Shaddam says they're dead. Do you say different?
Not entirely. I'm sure the Sardaukar massacred them by the thousands. This siege bears evidence of that. But you're right. I don't believe the Imperial account, and I'm hoping the truth, or part of it, awaits us inside. If we survive. It serves the Emperor to depict the Fremen as barbarous and savage, but look at their craft. I see the work of a socially and materially advanced people. A people with the innate practicality and good sense to worship a local and very available god. That's also, conveniently, an apex megapredator. This would have been the central water repository for the entire Siege community. The Fremen value water above any commodity. Feel the dampness in the air? The smell of wet stone? It reminds me of a special place, far away from here. To the Fremen, water is holy. Water is life. Consider the still suit, a design that's both a testament to Fremen ingenuity and a metaphor for their almost religious determination to never waste a drop. Did you encounter the Masquerade on your way here? They're some kind of cult. Worm worshippers based out of an abandoned power station far to the west. It's odd to see them this far east, but if they've found this place, they'll be coming. Down here, water discipline would finally be relaxed. Visitors could shed their dusty still suits and find refreshment. We'll probably find that a lot of corridors and subchambers are collapsed and impassable. Some would have been brought down by the Sardaukar to deny key areas and resources to any survivors. Others would have been brought down by the Fremen themselves, to crush the invading assault force or channel them to a kill zone. I believe the Siege power plant would probably be through there, and the air filtration systems beyond that. Many of these doors also led to exterior passages where the water keepers would have maintained external dew collectors and wind traps. An extensive and lossless pipe system would deliver the gathered water to various catch basins and cisterns throughout the Siege. However, all water would eventually return to the main reservoir. The Fremen were known to keep large nests of scorpions in order to harvest their venom for blades. That's a door I don't want to open. Strange to think these corridors once echoed with the hopes and dreams of a lost multitude. Mothers, fathers, and children beyond count. And now, only silence. A silence this rock hasn't known in 10,000 years.
Our first goal on Arrakis is grassland provinces. We will start with these mutated poverty grasses. When we have moisture locked in grasslands, we'll move on to start upland forests, then a few open bodies of water, small at first, and situated along lines of prevailing winds with wind-trap moisture precipitators spaced in the lines to recapture what the wind steals. We must create a true sirocco, a moist wind, but we will never get away from the necessity for wind traps. This ecological transformation of Arrakis relies upon us controlling 3% of the energy surface. Only 3% to start a self-sustaining system. Learn this lesson well. Our transformation begins in the plantations of the south and proceeds in simple steps to begin. Bind the dunes using grass. Secondly, create deep plantings in the shelter of the downwind face. Finally, introduce burrowing animals to aerate the soil. You will be tested on how well you have learned to recognize the language of the ecological transformation. Remember your lessons, and the door to the future will open.
Very good. Brilliant work.
Finally, introduce burrowing animals to aerate the soil. You will be tested on how well you have learned to recognize the language of the ecological transformation. Remember your lessons, and the door to the future will open.
Good work. This must be the way. Now we come to the private living areas of the Siege proper. In a Siege community, the leader was known as the Naib, and the various Naibs were often jealous of each other and liked to measure their relative influence by the number of hearths they commanded within their Siege. Siege Talab is a smaller Siege hosting roughly 500 hearths. Siege Tabor, by comparison, the community Pardo Kynes lived within, was said to host well over 2,000. This must be the Cavern of Council, the cultural and political heart of any Siege community. It's here that Siege dwellers would gather to hear a traveling crier regale the community with news from beyond. And up there, upon that great terrace extending over the room, is the reason we're here today. A death still, the place all Fremen end up at death, so they may return their water to the tribe. That script upon the platform reads, "The water of the tribe shall reveal the path." And I believe the path in question is related to the secret that's brought us both here. And while you are clearly no Fremen, you were able to pass their biometric locks without tampering or delay. Whatever lies beyond here, I believe your blood is the key.
Greetings, and Sabakul. If you are watching this, I am likely dead or captured. I came to Siege Talab in the same condition you find it now, abandoned and despoiled. I must have triggered some kind of hidden alarm, because the Sardaukar were at my heels before long. They found me. I haven't long, so listen well. I was brought to this planet, like you and many others, with one overriding directive: find the Fremen. But when I finally came face to face with my quarry, I did not find the villains as described by the Communinet or the Emperor. Instead, I found a noble people being drawn into a conspiracy not of their making. A conspiracy extending from the very heart of the Imperium to the dark corridors of... I have to go. They don't know where I am right now, but I can't risk them finding what I leave for you. I wish there was more time. I have much to tell you, but your mere presence in this secret chamber indicates that the ones who sent us will not stop until they achieve their aims. I have hidden the details of my journey on a mimetic film locked within the safe on the wall. As with the security door and the death still, our blood is the key. And now, I lead the Sardaukar as far from here as I may. Ma Salam.
Tricky, tricky Fremen. I believe more than half the technology in this room violates the first 11 Butlerian prescriptions. Probably more. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind. And while the Fremen are ingenious, this technology far exceeds their reach. Who are you really?
What do you mean?
This film is encrypted with a kind of protection I've only encountered in the restricted section at the Nemesene Library on Artesia. I believe that encryption was of Ixian origin.
So, how do we decode it?
That's not good. We need an Ixian decoder to access whatever is on this, and I have access to the resources of a great house.
Wait, how do I know you won't just run off with that thing?
Don't be concerned. I'll reach out when I have more information. If we Atreides are known for anything, it's our stiff-necked honor. Besides, as a mystery, you rank right up there with this film. Parting with people is a sadness. A place is only a place. The Masquerette. I'm going to try to draw them off. I'll make contact when I have the film decrypted.
Infidels! The lightning worm cannot be deceived! You would pay for your desecration in blood! After them! Do not let them escape!
The scavengers came like a ripple through still water, the faintest tremor of sound, the softest shift of air. Well organized. Not the wild scrabble of desperate raiders, but the measured cadence of men who had hunted in enclosed spaces before. The siege became her ally. Sharp corners, sudden drops, the long shadow of a wall where a moment's stillness could make her invisible. She climbed the narrow passage to the siege mouth. The desert air struck her, dry, sharp, carrying the faint metallic scent of moonlit sand. Outside, basalt teeth broke the horizon, their shadows black pools under the twin moons. Ares' absence was a calculated variable. The sister understood variables. She would wait. She would listen. It was often that through patience that the way would become clear. The sister let her breathing slow until it matched the pulse of the machinery. The room's heat pressed against her skin, not unlike the desert sun, but without the threat of sand or worm. Here, life was distilled from death, water drawn from the bodies of the fallen. She had learned long ago not to flinch at the symbolism. Ares' last transmission lay coiled in her memory, every word etched with Bene Gesserit precision. Await further instructions. But the cipher that came with it, that was the true thorn. Its angular script and layered meanings defied immediate unraveling. She suspected it was more than a message. It was a doorway. And on the other side might be the truth about what had happened to the Fremen. She closed her eyes and summoned the Mentat's calm, reviewing her choices. Act now, pressing outward into the desert for answers, or remain in the base's shadow, conserving resources until the Sisterhood's hand moved again. Patience was both shield and weapon, but patience could also rot into stagnation. In the stillness, the death still whispered its endless work. Drops became trickles, trickles became lifeblood. The Bene Gesserit knew that power was not seized in storms, it was gathered in drops, collected in silence, until the moment came to pour it out. The sister knelt in the open belly of her ornithopter, its suspensors humming faintly as she scooped the bright ochre threads from the sand. The wind whispered over the hull, carrying that cinnamon-laced perfume that spoke of power, prophecy, and peril. She worked quickly, always with one ear tuned to the desert's deeper voice. There, a tremor, felt more in the bones than through the feet, rippled outward. Her pulse shifted, not from fear, but from the cold arithmetic of survival. The spice pan was no longer safe. With a practiced motion, she sealed her harvest into the stillsuit's pouch, then pulled herself into the pilot's seat. The desert stretched on, broken only by distant ridges and the glint of spice blow remnants. She navigated by instinct as much as by map. Ares' cipher still lurking in her mind like an unfinished prayer. Await further instructions. The words weighed on her more than the desert's heat. Hours later, the horizon began to shift, a dark band swelling and folding in on itself. Dust storm. The voice of her training reminded her. On Arrakis, the sandstorm is a predator as patient as the worm, and twice as unforgiving. She swung the thopter into a rising bank, letting the updraft carry her above the first gusts. Still, the air shook and screamed towards the craft, the storm's claws reaching ever closer at a supernatural speed. She searched for shelter in the maelstrom's copper glare. It came as a smear of shadow on the horizon, straight lines, too regular to be natural. Alloy walls, Harkonnen colors. Her jaw tightened. To approach such a place was to enter a game where the rules changed with each breath. Yet the storm pressed its will upon her, and survival on Arrakis was never a question of purity, only of endurance. She stepped onto the landing pad and the air tasted of metal, oil, and old cruelty. Somewhere inside those walls might lie the key to Ares' hidden message, or perhaps the end of the sister who sought it.
That is Zantara's bat! Vujki od prejkai vash do. You are not the lion, but that is his beast.
Let's make this quick. I have a transport due any time now. Demo, Azat, and whoever you are, get out. And you. I don't know you. And that's a problem because it's my job to know everyone around here. Even the degenerate smuggler I declined to name as Mara Effendi. Of course I know that rogue. It's my job to know, and I'm good at my job. But then you come along to make me look bad in front of my superior. You were sighted fleeing the scene of a terrible crash. A prison transport, as I understand it, carrying work crews bound for Old Carthag. But here's the strange thing. We recovered the crew and passenger manifests, and what do you think we found? All hands were accounted for. 87 names, 87 bodies. Which brings us back to our central mystery. You. Who are you? How did you come to be on that shuttle? But most importantly, how are you known to the Fremen outlaw Zantara?
Avdo Prejt Kiva.
The Sardaukar say he helped you, and only you.
Shpato Has.
It's a shame we've not the time to dig deeper. I'm sure you would have much to share given the proper incentive. But alas, my expertise is required elsewhere. And while the Sardaukar are many things, jailers, they are not. So then, you may take your secrets to the grave. We will find and kill your Fremen confederate in any event.
No slight to you, Tors. I just thought that this interrogation might benefit from my visage. Hypnoligation. This prisoner was deliberately layered with a compulsion, and my face is the trigger. Enough of this. So a mystery within a mystery. Who did this to our prisoner and why? And what does it have to do with Zantara the Lion? Bring them. Fascinating. Your compulsion is designed to react only to the sight of my real face. This projection allows us to talk face to face, so to speak. I am Count Hazimir Fenring. I serve the Emperor as observer and confidant, and I keep his Sardaukar from getting too far off the leash. You've heard the expression, the spice must flow. I am the man who ensures that it continues to do so. So, having established who I am, we turn to you. An escaped prisoner, a survivor. But every person carries their past with them. Who are you?
I am a citizen of the Imperium, nothing more.
A former citizen, perhaps. Whatever your old life, it cannot have been particularly noteworthy. What is noteworthy is this sequence of events. A crashed prison transport, an escaped prisoner rescued by the outlaw Zantara. Finally, an insidious form of compulsion that forces the subject to kill themselves rather than be subject to my presence. It's almost flattering. Do you remember who gave you this compulsion? Do you know how it came to be? As you will, then. And then Zantara rescues you from the wreckage of the ship. Why you? What is your association with him?
I don't know.
Truth be told, I am less interested in the outlaw. The Sardaukar want his head, but my interests rarely align with those of the Imperial Legion. No, I am mostly interested in whoever did this to you, and whether there is a way we can help each other. I can use someone like you. Someone who can survive in difficult situations. And in return, I promise you answers.
What do you want me to do?
For now, do nothing. Enjoy your freedom. But when you are ready, make your way to Hanevar's bar in Harko village. Find my contact.
How will I recognize the contact?
That will let her know who you are. Be discreet. The ones who did this to you are powerful and subtle. I cannot protect you from their compulsion. We've spoken long enough. I will have the guards return your weapons and put you out in the street. I will keep my agent apprised of what I learn. I leave you with this. Do not waste sorrow over the aristocracy of misfortune. You have your life to live.
I've been waiting for you.
Bastard, you're the reason I was arrested.
No, not Fremen. Don't let them get inside your head, off-worlder. I'm Imperium born and bred, just like you.
Fine. What do you want?
The Sardaukar let you go. Either you told them something valuable enough to buy your freedom, or you've been working for them all along. Which is it?
Even if I told them everything I knew, it wouldn't be much. I know nothing about you.
I'm not concerned with what you think you said, off-worlder. I'm concerned about what they learned. Did anything unusual happen?
The Sardaukar took me in the market, clean, efficient, like plucking a stone from sand. I remember the stink of spice dust on their armor as they bound me and marched me through the Harkonnen streets to a bare chamber. After isolating me, a man by the name of Fenring appeared. And then, something happened. Not thought, not choice. A force, alien and absolute, moved through me. My body surged forward, prana bindu reflexes bent to its will, hands striking for the killing nodes in his neck. I tried to speak, to understand why I had attacked, but the force was still there, cold, commanding. It turned my focus inward, toward the final act we are taught to reserve for ourselves. I fought it, but my muscles obeyed. Valves closed, breath failed, and now, I cannot tell if it was him, some Sardaukar trick, or something older and deeper that took me over. I only know it was not me. He let me go after questioning me further from the safety of a hologram.
This compulsion. Fenring seems unusually interested in you. I warn you, off-worlder, he's a dangerous man. He's one of the best duelists in the Imperium, but he is the Emperor's right hand. A man who works from the shadows. Whoever gave you this compulsion must not want their secrets or knowledge of your mission to fall into his hands.
So what should I do?
Do nothing, off-worlder. Carry on exactly as Fenring has asked. He's almost certainly watching you. Your best hope is to do as he bids. Meet his contact. Carry out their assignments. Pay attention. Anything Fenring asks you to do will serve a double purpose. Plans within plans.
And what will you be doing?
I'll do what I always do, off-worlder. Make sure you don't get killed.
All right, thanks. I'll meet with the contact. Goodbye.
A kitten wanders in from the dark, lost and afraid. Can I help you, kitten? I like to think that Fenring has good taste in his acquisitions. But you look like a problem to me.
Well, I might be useful to you. For example, I can smell that your Samuta is full of impurities. You need a better supplier.
Oh, I like that. I'm the one adding the impurities, kitten. No dealer would mess with a Tuek on Arrakis. Not if they wanted to keep working.
A Tuek? Am I supposed to recognize that name?
No, kitten. That's the entire point. You are not supposed to recognize it. That's why Fenring sent you to me after all. For some side business.
What do you need me to do?
Oh, not me, kitten. This is Fenring's show. He wants you to do a little wet work. Assassination. Straight from the handbook. Educational and thrilling.
A handbook?
Oh, it's a boring old book from almost 10,000 years ago. A list of ways to kill people, and the weapons you can use under the Great Convention.
Why would Fenring want me to look at this?
Oh, his instructions were very specific, kitten. You're going to learn the how and why of the Assassin's Handbook. Ready to get to work?
All right, fine. Let's get on with it.
I have 2 names to whisper to you, kitten. The Glutton and the Paranoid. Which do you want to hear about?
Tell me about the Glutton.
A new leader has risen amongst the slavers of the Haga Basin. We know almost nothing, except this. His appetite is voracious. The Assassin's Handbook teaches us of chaumas, poison in the food. Take this file, find this leader, and poison his food. Your way has been prepared. Our agent, Petir, hides among the slavers. Find Petir, and he will tell you what he knows. If you are caught, you do not know me. You have never heard the name Fenring. Do you accept, kitten?
Yes, I accept and will kill this Glutton.
Then go, kitten. Show them your claws.
The wind clawed at the hull of the ornithopter, a ceaseless rasp like the breathing of some ancient predator. She sat in the pilot's cradle, hands light upon the controls, mind elsewhere, turning the paucity of her clues like a jeweler inspecting a flawed gem. She was only given the name of Peter, nothing more. No lineage, no affiliations, no tone in the giver's voice to betray significance, a name without a face, a vector without coordinates. This was either incompetence or deliberate obscurity, and in the sisterhood such absence of detail was never accidental. The only certainty, Peter had been last seen in the grip of slavers. That fact bore its own weight. She could almost hear the hollow clang of their slave cages, smell the metallic tang of their holds. Slavers on Arrakis were creatures of pure transaction, stripped of pretense. If they possessed him, it was because he had value, though whether as informant or merchandise she could not yet decide. If she reached him, she would have answers. If not, she would harvest what she needed from the corpses left in her wake. Either way, the path forward demanded combat.
Leave me alone. Unless... Are you the one I have been waiting for?
I was sent here to find Peter.
Oh, thanks, the Emperor. Tell Elara that I am done. I cannot do this kind of work anymore.
Why are you so upset?
When I first got here, I infiltrated the slaves quickly. I heard about the special cadre of slaves being kept for a special leader. I knew this is who we were looking for, but he eats people. He cuts them open and tears off their flesh in great quivering chunks. I have seen him. Sometimes he doesn't wait until they are dead. Take it. Take the key. But I warn you, do not go down there. he'll be waiting. He can smell anything, anywhere.
Good luck, Peter.
The threshold to the slaver's den was no mere hiding place. It was an altar to terror. In the half-light, vacuum-sealed cadavers swayed like mute witnesses, their pale forms distorted by the plastifilm's cruel embrace. The air was thick with the tang of spilt life, the metallic breath of blood mingling with the ancient, iron-laden scent of Arrakis's dunes beyond. She stepped inward without hesitation. With the unwavering will of one who would stand before Shai-Hulud unflinching, she knew that whatever monster lurked within would meet its end upon her blade. In her mind, purpose burned with the narrowing focus of a hunter in the desert's final hour. If the monster called the Glutton nested here, then his death would be more than the end of a hunt. It would be the purging of a predator whose shadow gnawed at the sinews of the Imperium itself.
There you are. Your scent gives you away, assassin. You should have washed yourself in blood. Poison in the food. Most poisons don't work on Arrakis. The spice protects. I wonder if the one who sent you here knew that, or if they had plans within plans. This hunger I have, it isn't natural. It controls me. It compels. Do you ever feel compelled? Mortal, are you driven by something you cannot define? Do you control it, or does it control you?
The sister's task was complete. Yet the monster's blood would not be squandered. She bore the carcass back to her death still in the quiet solemnity the Fremen gave to all water taken from the dead. Even in the case of such a creature, whose life had been spent in cruelty, its water would serve her needs. Mercy need not shape the monster's deeds, but neither would she allow his emptiness to hollow her own soul. The task was finished. Now the desert's path bent toward Harko village, a Harkonnen holdfast sunk into the grit and shadow of Arrakis. Beyond its dust-choked streets lay the plush VIP chamber of the bar, a cool, perfumed refuge where Elara Tuek held court, and the currents of power flowed as readily as her spice-laced wine.
Oh look, the kitten is back. Do we have business? My sources inform me that the Glutton is dead. Well done, kitten. Are you ready for the paranoid?
All right, tell me about the paranoid.
It was inevitable that with the Fremen gone, someone would seize upon the threads of their mysticism. A new cult has been born in the Haga Basin. They call themselves the Masquerade, a bunch of worm worshippers haunting the ruins of an old power station. And their leader? A prophet. No one has ever seen her in the flesh, but her Solido projection preaches to her faithful every day. Her inner chamber is guarded by 5 pentashields.
5 shields?
The access keys for each shield are carried by 4 of her most fervent followers, except for the 5th key. That she keeps with her at all times.
What can you tell me about these followers?
She calls them her chosen, and has named them after the parts of the sandworm. The tooth, the fire, the body, and the breath. Each carries a key. But as I mentioned, the 5th key is kept by her.
So I need to lure her out somehow.
Unworthy thought, kitten, but no. She never leaves her place of contemplation. Instead, use the shield dissembler to get through the final door.
You have a way to break shields?
A dissembler takes time and patience to use. They cannot be used against personal shields. They take minutes to align with pentashields. If you are caught, you do not know me. You have never heard the name Fenring. Will you find our paranoid cult leader, kitten?
All right. If it leads to the answers I need, then I'll get rid of your cultist.
Then go, kitten. Show them your claws.
The sister stood before Elara, weighing the woman in the silence between words. Was she merely a conduit through which orders flowed, or the hidden architect whose hand shaped every thread of this deadly weave? The sister did not linger. Enclosed in the humming stillness of the ornithopter's cockpit, she looked down on the Arrakeen desert, golden waves broken at their edges by jagged outcroppings of stone, each one a possible mouth concealing secrets. She found herself wondering what eyes might watch from those shadows, what caches of forbidden tools or hoarded water lay hidden there, what alliances were being forged in the silence between shifting sands and unyielding rock. Her course was clear. Take the shield codes from the paranoid's fervent disciples, then confront their leader in the heart of their guarded domain. Yet she felt the weight of the sisterhood's maxim pressing in. No task is ever as simple as its telling. The desert itself seemed to whisper agreement, a vast and silent witness to the traps hidden in plain sight.
For the lightning one! Interloper!
Oh my my sisters, my brothers. Long has the sun of Arrakis blazed across the desert sands. Long has it burned upon the minds of all that labor under its dominion. Long have the winds of the Coriolis swept across the mountains and valleys. So too have they swept through uncounted minds, scouring the truth of history from 1,000 generations of memory. Through all and beyond time itself, one has presided. One who marks not the movement of stars. One whose command of power is infinite. Whose knowledge is fathomless. Against our forgetting. But we do not forget.
The last of the attackers lay still, their poison spent, their blades dulled in death. The sister moved without hesitation, descending into the concealed depths of the fortified bunker. She measured each step, expecting the press of more defenders from the shadows, but none came. It seemed the one called the Paranoid placed full faith in the invisible fortress of the Pentashields, a lattice of energy and arrogance. All contingencies had been considered, every breach imagined and sealed, save one. They had not accounted for the sister, nor the quiet precision with which the sisterhood dismantled illusions of safety.
I knew that you would come. I saw you in my dreams. Even my loyal lieutenants were unable to keep you at bay. And for what? I did everything that they asked of me. Find the Fremen. There were no Fremen to find. So I did the next best thing. I created new Fremen. Better Fremen. My Mas Karet. Still, it is never enough. I'm tired of being afraid. Tired of the voices that they put in my head. Please, let us end this. One way or another. Heavens stand open and scatter their riches. My hands need but gather their will. Why do I think of an ambush and poison in my molten cup? Why do I feel my years? Love's arms beckon with their naked delights, and Eden's promises of ecstasies. Why do I remember the scars, dream of old transgressions? And why do I sleep with fears?
The paranoid's mandate had been clear: find the Fremen. It was the same command that had set the sisters' own steps upon this path. Yet with their defeat, the trail did not narrow. It splintered into deeper uncertainty. Each clue uncovered seemed less a revelation and more a stone placed with deliberate intent. Were we pursuing truth for some greater purpose, or merely sweeping clean the traces of another's hidden hand? The desert keeps its counsel well, and its silence is a mirror in which every answer looks more like a question. The sister had completed 2 tasks, clean, precise removals that left no echo in the sand. Yet, in the stillness afterward, her attention lingered not on the victories, but on the faces of the dead. Lines and curves inked into the flesh, in a pattern disturbingly akin to her own. Identical markings as though drawn from the same ancestral script. Such parallels were not accidents. The sisterhood taught that coincidence was the language of the untrained mind. This was design, and design implied intent.
This next canto is disturbing. You have my sympathies. If your tone offends, remove it. If your eyes cause you to stumble, pluck them out.
And now, our next and finest Gesserit.
The sand tiger shark, Cacharius
Taurus,
native to Old Terra.
The sand tiger displays a curious reproductive strategy, one of intrauterine cannibalism. When the youngest embryonic shark reaches a certain size threshold, it kills and devours its siblings. In the blackness of the primordial pocket ocean, that is, the sand tiger hunts its fellow embryos, absorbing their nutrients and achieving exponential growth. When the lone sand tiger shark emerges from the womb, it is stronger and better able to deal with predators and emergency. And what of you, little Adaphage? Do you grow? Are you enjoying your recent feast? Or does he want to sit down?
I can show you the way. Follow the guide. Have you seen what you needed to see?
you desired. Consider the strands that came before. Consider the strands that lie ahead. Consider whom you allowed to become entangled in those strands. Consider the choices.
I have something for us, but you must act quickly. An Ixian freighter lost contact with the spaceport at Arrakis on its descent from the Highliner. I don't know what it's carrying, but it's a safe bet that the command deck will carry the Ixian decoder technology we need. The problem is that Ixian tech is rare and valuable, so you'd better get there before the wreck is picked clean by scavengers. You'll know it by its name, the Hephaestus. I guess that makes you Prometheus in this story.
It had not been a dream, but a truth veiled in symbol, the sand tiger shark devouring its own siblings. A predator born from the logic of necessity. She understood then, as she does now, that such images are never given idly. Was it a reflection of her path, the quiet culling of her own kind, or a warning of what she might yet become? In spice trance, time dissolves. She could not say whether she had been gone for the span of a breath or for the turning of the moons, but Ari's voice had brought her back, its tone firm, carrying the weight of discovery. The mystery of the vanished Fremen had grown sharper edges. There was a wreck in the desert, the Hephaestus, and within its carcass perhaps an Ixian decoder. That was the path. The sister knew the next steps, though the vision still lingered, like heat rising from sand long after sunset.
Oh there. It seems this poor bastard has some metal lodged in his throat. Nothing to be done about it, of course, unless you're a sick doctor, which I'm fairly certain you are not.
I'm not a survivor. I just arrived.
Yes, quite the opposite, in fact. You have the look of a degenerate killer about you. A happy development, as it were. It just so happens I'm in need of a degenerate killer.
Not interested. I have my own mission here.
Don't be modest. We haven't the time. The smoke from this wreckage is already visible across 3 sectors. By sunset, this wreck will be crawling with scavengers of every stripe, out from their hidey holes to pick the bones clean. You and I must complete our rescue before that swarm arrives.
Rescue?
While the ship released a brief distress call in the minutes before impact, there was a second, discreet call on an encrypted frequency. A frequency reserved for the Regis Familia, which puts me in a bit of a bind. I'm highborn, and while I was merely passing through, I am honor-bound to investigate any distress call transmitted on a noble frequency.
I don't normally like to get involved in highborn business.
I don't expect you to understand, gutter-born as you surely are. But understand this. As the sole-ranking Imperial subject of the First Order, I am fully empowered to compel your assistance on this mission. You will help me find and extricate the highborn passenger behind the distress call. Unless you question my authority, In which case, you might find some metal lodged in your throat.
Fine. I recognize your authority, but I have a mission of my own.
Help me with my rescue, and I will keep an eye out for whatever bauble you require.
I'm looking for an Ixian decoder.
Well, luckily for you, we're on a cargo ship positively laden with advanced technological wonders. We'll find your decoder and my highborn and abscond with our spoils before the rabble of the desert shows up. Deal?
If I say no, you're going to try to kill me, right?
Well, maybe, maybe not. Ask him.
All right, I'm in.
Excellent. Our first order of business is to gain access to the hold. This helpful fellow suggested our distress call might have originated there. It's not unheard of for highborns to travel incognito using old cargo containers, usually refurbished with luxury appointments. The ship's hold will most assuredly be protected by a pentashield. The Ixians are randy for security. You will need to find a key. I will endeavor to locate the cargo manifest so that we may ascertain exactly which container we are looking for, and that thing you want, of course. I'll stay in contact over the net. Kill anything that moves.
I'll manage just fine. Bye.
Going to have to engage and secure the hold. An easy bit of murder for a killer like you. The Suboids are but brain-addled laborers with no aptitude for combat, and they are light-sensitive.
What are you doing? The Suboids are gonna kill us all!
Calm down. I've dealt with the Suboids.
Those were just the ones outside! They want revenge, they'll be coming after us!
Take a deep breath. Tell me who you are.
I'm just crew. My name is Suf Rondi. This is my third voyage on the Hephaestus.
Tell me more about this ship.
Oh, I've only been on her for a few voyages. Captain Lazius was a steady hand and had a solid reputation. He even treated the Suboids well.
Do you know if the ship was carrying any nobleborn?
Nothing I've heard about.
Tell me more about the Suboids.
They just went insane. Started attacking us all. The captain sealed off the bridge and warned the rest of us to get to safety. At first we could stay in the lights, avoid them, but they got into the engine somehow and the ship crashed. And the lights went out. After that, it was just screams in the darkness. I hid in here to wait for rescue, but that's not why you're here, is it?
No, it isn't. How do I get into the cargo hold?
There's an eye scanner attached to the pentashield. If you've got authorization, it unlocks the pentashield.
So, do you have authorization?
Well, yes, No, I'm not going out there. Besides, if you kill the Suboids in here, the others will be trapped on the other side.
Look, I need to get into that cargo hold. Is there another way?
Maybe one of the other crew? Jackson and Addison both had authorization. Maybe you can find them, or their corpses out there.
Well, I suppose it will do. It would have been more fun to take one from someone alive, though. I've been assured the process is quite painless. Oh, not for the person losing the eye. first day, the Narbaron said, "Let there be light." That was taxing. Now, you're going to have to locate the mechanism to move the containers around. When pushed, I will, for the most part, admit the Ixian technology is reliable. So, you're looking for an Ixian decoder on an Ixian shipwreck, which makes sense. But what I'm curious about is what you want to decode. Don't worry. Like most things, the mystery of your purpose here is probably beneath my notice. Still, I have to wonder who tipped you off about this shipwreck, and how you got here so fast. Don't worry, though. We can have a thorough discussion about it after we've rescued the princess and salvaged your Ixian decoder. Oh, the layout of this brig is maddening. We're looking for container HH40236. Describe what you see. Leave nothing out. An orange Catholic Bible. What's that passage again? Beware the seeds you sow and the crops you reap. Do not curse God for the punishment you inflict upon yourself. And a Communinet console set to an Atreides frequency. That's Bene Gesserit garb. So our trapped noble was a Bene Gesserit. Looking at the system files, it seems the remaining Ixians and our Bene Gesserit noble have barricaded themselves in the bridge. Oh, and there's a mass of Suboids trying to get in. We had better hurry. I'll meet you there. I must admit something to you. I'm afraid I haven't been entirely candid about our mission. Neither my presence here nor the identity of our rescue subject are as random as I might have first let on. A Bene Gesserit sister, a noble with highly placed Atreides contacts, returning in secret from Warlock 9, home of the Bene Gesserit Mother School. I do believe my errant princess has come home at last. We need officer clearance to access the bridge. Fortunately, the captain decided to remain with the ship. He wasn't using it anymore. There are more in here than I expected. More than should reasonably fit, in fact. Well, that's not a positive development. Try to switch the lights on.
Combat was the language her body spoke fluently, but here another truth presented itself: the Suboid's aversion to light. She would weave both into a single strategy, turning their frailty into her weapon.
Hail the conquering hero. Hello? It's safe to come out now? The enemy is vanquished. The day won. Well then, when one sends out a distress call, the least one can do is stay around to be rescued. Well, she's clearly not here. My sources were either wrong or just unreliable. Though the distress signal was real enough, apparently my princess.
Oh, the Galassian girls will do it for pearls, and the Arrakeen for water. But if you desire dames like consuming flames, try a Caledonian daughter.
Gurney Halleck.
Do I have the honor of addressing Feyd-Rautha? I was watching you on the Trans-Eye, boy. When the Suboids ran wild, we suspected Harkonnen interference. So I laid a little trap of my own.
Where is the girl?
Oh, you fool. The ship was carrying a different cargo. She was never even here. And she doesn't belong to you.
The betrothal remains, Halleck. A signed and sealed agreement. Or do the Atreides no longer keep their word?
Oh, to the letter, Harkonnen. But unlike my Lord Duke, I've seen the slave pits of Gedi Prime. Atreides don't sell Atreides.
You'd stand against the will of the Sisterhood?
I won't need to. No groom, no wedding. I have triggered the explosives that I attached to the fuel chambers of the ship. You have moments to live. Goodbye.
The storm outside must be interfering with the detonation signal, which buys us time to escape. Well, not much time.
Can you hear me? Hello? The wreck is not safe. Gurney Halleck has laid a trap. He's going to blow it up. Get out of there!
Another time then, my degenerate killer.
She emerged from the wreck in a storm of heat and metal fragments, the shockwave at her back like the breath of some enraged titan. Survival had been measured in instants, each movement chosen with the precision of a Mentat's calculation. The signal, a lure carefully set for the Harkonnen noble she had met within that doomed hull. Yet in the chaos, she had claimed the true prize, an Ixian decoder, wrested from the ship's dying heart moments before its final detonation. But survival carried with it a new question, sharper than the sand-scoured wind. Who was Ari, and by what hidden channels had she learned of the signal? These were not idle curiosities. They rooted deep into the sisters' consciousness, as all Bene Gesserit questions did, threads seeking the unseen hand that wove them. The decoder was a tool, Ari was a mystery, and mysteries, the sister knew, were often more dangerous than any weapon.
Are you there? Did you make it out? Oh, hon. I swear, Gurney is going to go too far one day. My father will have to bring him to heel. My father... I should have mentioned who he was. Duke Leto Atreides, the Red Duke. Wait, you're not Harkonnen, are you? Actually, don't tell me. It doesn't matter. Let's just focus on decoding this film. I can't meet you right now. My parents, mostly my mother, are watching me very closely. They weren't impressed by my brush with the Masquerade. Keep the decoder safe, and I'll meet you as soon as I can. And keep your net open. And stay away from strangers. Gurney always says you can judge a person by the company they keep.
The veil had lifted. Ari, daughter of the great Red Duke. Such lineage was never without weight. The sister measured it against their mission to trace the vanished Fremen, and against Ari's almost reverent fascination with their ways. Coincidence? The sisterhood did not believe in such things. Pattern and intent lay beneath all movements, visible only to those trained to see. Yet speculation without data was a weakness. Until the weave disclosed its pattern, she would move within it, each step deliberate, each turn perhaps leading her deeper into a design whose maker remained unseen. It was time to pay Elara a second visit.
Oh, very good, kitten. Fenring is pleased that you're becoming so comfortable with the Assassin's Handbook. I have another task for you.
Who exactly were those people you sent me to kill? They said some strange things.
You spoke to them? That's not how assassination is supposed to work, kitten.
Fair enough. Tell me about this new task.
It seems that the water shippers have some new blood. One of their members rose from relative obscurity to become their wealthiest member. His methods have been efficient and brutal. Normally something to be admired, kitten, but the water shippers cannot afford to be unstable right now. So, another vial of poison, to be distributed in the water supply of this water shipper. The act of poisoning through drink is Chalmerky. What do you say, kitten? Shall we drink a toast to his demise?
Sounds easy enough. I'll take it.
Not so fast, kitten. This time you'll be needing some help. This water shipper keeps his mansion well guarded, almost impenetrable.
Help? What do you mean by help?
I mean me, kitten. I'll just purr along in your ear as you stumble through it all. Now listen, the water shipper keeps his estate very well guarded, which means stealth is the only way in. Luckily, I once again have a man on the inside. It'll be terribly exciting for all of us. But never fear, kitten. I'll be here to guide you.
I can handle it.
Then go, kitten. Show them your claws.
The sister's path turned toward infiltration. Her target? One called the Water Shipper. Names on Arrakis were never idle things. To control water was to command life itself. Such power birthed walls and guards, suspicion in every corridor.
That's close enough, kitten. As you can see, our target keeps himself well guarded. Those lights are a problem. If they spot you, you'll be ejected or killed. Luckily, my informants tell me the outer wall took some damage during the last Coriolis storm. Look for a scaffolding. That might be your best entry point.
To the untrained eye, it was only another fortress of stone and steel. but she read its lines as a Mentat reads equations. Every wall a signal, every guard placement an expression of intent. Water. On Arrakis, such a word contained volumes of meaning. It was coin, power, faith. To ship it was to bargain in life itself. That truth explained the density of sentries, the layered defenses, the watchtowers sweeping their gaze across the sands. A man who trafficked in water could afford no weakness. No, the task required discipline, the Bene Gesserit discipline of patience. She would seep into the compound like shadows slipping across stone, unseen until the moment of revelation. Her body was the weapon, her silence the sheath.
Look at all those flower fields, kitten. Wealth like that almost makes a woman think she picked the wrong business. Excellent. You've penetrated the back passage, kitten. Just be careful of toxic gas deposits and... well, I guess it was a euphemism after all, kitten. Delightful. Well done, kitten. Now you just have to find the water supply and drop in the Chalmer key. Nothing to it, really.
Intruder. I've often found it advantageous to observe my enemies before I confront them. Yet, your affiliation eludes me. I had thought initially that you were from the Guild. Another petty fool who couldn't stand the idea of losing business to an outsider.
but I don't recognize you. And I know everybody in the guild, or rather, everybody who matters. And then, I thought that perhaps you are related to the poor fool who used to own this place. An old family member come back for revenge. But then I remembered I killed every member of his family tree. Tore it from the universe, root and branch. So it leaves only one conclusion. They sent you to check on my progress, imagine, I wasn't sure how to approach the mission initially. But then I remembered, everybody needs water on Arrakis. It seems so simple. Follow the water, find the Fremen. But they eluded me. I just need more time. Just tell them I need more time. I'll be the one who finds them. I'll be the one who wakes the sleeper. I am certain of it. It's too soon. I just need more time. They figured out more than they wanted us to. Our masters, our mission. I know what it all means. You must have the antidote. Give it to me, and I will show you how to break their compulsion. Please. They don't own us. We can... Read.
Was a little too specific for the ramblings of a dying man. Cursed Fenring and his secrets. Anyway, kitten, the guards are converging on your location. I suggest you steal the water shipper's private ornithopter, located at the pad in front of the mansion. It's not like he needs it anymore.
The sister's mission was a success, but now she would have to fight her way out.
Let's get the bastard!
The sister departed the water shipper's stronghold untouched, her body unmarked, her breathing calm. Behind her, the silence was heavy with corpses, lives cut away as neatly as threads severed from a loom. She carried no triumph in the act. Death was not her destination, only the passage. Now the path bent back toward Elara. Another knot in the hidden weave waited to be undone, each target bound to the next by a design that revealed itself in fragments.
Congratulations, kitten. I wasn't sure whether you would succeed this time, but you have proven me wrong. Again.
What is really going on here? That water shipper knew who I was and why I am here on Arrakis.
It's always the same, kitten. Plans within plans. If you aren't playing, you're being played. You can't be this naive. What did the water shipper say? Suit yourself, kitten. I have a final task from Venring for you. One last kill, in exchange for the information you seek.
Tell me about the next victim.
This one is interesting. A man called the Jackal, spreading sedition amongst the peons of Arrakis. His words carry too much weight. Silence him. You can use this, a Shigawire Garrote. Hide it in your hair, and it is basically undetectable by scope and search. This is important. Arrakis is protected by the Guild Peace. This means any violation there can lead to extreme sanctions and loss of Guild transport privileges. The Jackal lurks in an alleyway somewhere in the maze of streets in Arrakis. Find him and silence him. Fenring will be waiting.
I'm getting tired of this. Once this is done, I expect some answers.
Then go, kitten. Show them your claws.
Thank you for watching Legion's cinematic presentation of Dune: Awakening. If you're enjoying the journey so far, let us know in the comments. Your voice shapes the future of this channel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated as we dive deeper into the world of Arrakis and other RPG titles. Once again, thank you, but the spice must flow, and so must the content. The sister weighed the matter with caution. The Jackal might be more symptom than cause, an instrument rather than the hand that wielded it. Perhaps, like herself, he was driven by a deeper mandate, to uncover the fate of the Fremen. If so, his presence could not be dismissed as mere sedition. To find him might mean only another confrontation, but to locate him, to know him, might unseal answers she had long sought, why she had been placed upon Arrakis, and whose design she now walked within.
It wanders beyond the walls of the city, and I ask it, is it lost?
I'm looking for the Jackal.
It says it wants the Jackal, but I am the wolf, and a Jackal does not speak to strangers, unless I ask it, is it kindred? Does it know the word?
I do not know the word.
Oh, it is honest, yes. No tricks, boring. But a wolf likes to play. I ask it, is it clever enough to guess the word? To look, to search, to follow are answers to this test. But none of them quite capture the essence of the quest. The meek, the weak, the freak, all similar in sound, but none of them can capture the word for searching round.
Is the word seek?
Oh, it is clever. And now it knows the word. If it finds the other words, then the Jackal will speak. I tell it, farewell.
Hello. I'm looking for the Jackal. You can't speak, but I need to find the words so the Jackal will speak to me. Footprint? Is that your word? Thank you for your help.
Welcome, stranger. It is unusual to see new faces down here in the back alleys of Arrakis. How can I help you?
You seem more normal than most of the others I have spoken to.
Yes, well, Felicity and I have been through a lot together, but we still try to maintain the common courtesy of civilization.
Who is Felicity?
Why, my partner, of course. Say hello, Felicity. I must apologize. She is the silent type.
But there's nobody there.
Ooh, that hurts Felicity's feelings. Calling her a nobody. I can't say I am inclined to help somebody so rude. State your business, or go.
I'm looking for the Jackal.
The Jackal? I do know somebody around here by that name, but he won't speak to anybody who doesn't know the words.
Well, then can you tell me your word?
My word? No. Only Felicity knows the word. And as I mentioned, she is the quiet type.
So, how can I ask Felicity?
Because you were rude to her earlier, Felicity only wants to tell you the word if you can solve her riddle. Agreed?
Agreed.
Here is Felicity's riddle. Who is the greatest friend of the hunted?
Silence.
You are correct. Silence is the friend of the hunted. It's an old Fremen riddle, one Felicity learned from the Fremen when she lived with them.
Does Felicity happen to know what happened to the Fremen?
Yes, she was there in the siege when the Sardaukar came. Lasguns, fire, blood, she remembers it all. I remember too. It is where I found her. We used to marry sometimes, town Fremen and siege Fremen. Though we of the towns were considered lesser, we were still blood. Felicity was my wife, and shared her time between Arrakis and her siege, until the Sardaukar came. She was guarding the children when they killed her. And now she lives here. In my mind. It's not wrong to be a little insane if it lets you keep the one you love. Is it?
No, it isn't. It's being human.
Thank you, stranger. The word you are looking for is worm. Speak to the others and learn their words. Then the Jackal will speak.
Thank you for your time. Farewell.
Any coins, friend? The blind are usually cast into the desert, but I can live if you are merciful and generous.
I'm looking for the one they call the Jackal.
Then speak the words, friend. What are you looking for?
I seek the footprints of the worm.
Yes, the words at last. Do you know their significance? Fremen would speak them on their Hajj in search of their Ummah, their personal revelation. And you are closing in on your Ummah, which brings about the end of my vigil. So, you are here to kill me. Do you know why?
Fenring has promised me information. Information I need to free myself.
Yes, I knew it would be Fenring. He never stopped hunting for us after Carthag. He never truly believed he had succeeded. You are not the first to come in search of the Fremen. You are one of many. Find the Fremen, wake the sleeper. Those words used to ring in my mind as well. A compulsion. But for the others like me, the compulsion was broken. It drove us mad. My brother became mad with endless hunger. My sister sought solace in religious fervor. The youngest of us was overcome with greed. And one by one, you have hunted them down and killed them. Until at last, there is only me. Blind and lost. A madman surrounded by the mad.
You were sent here as an agent of the Bene Gesserit as well?
You have eyes, yet you see less than a blind man. The Bene Gesserit care nothing for us. Busy with their plot to wed Atreides to Harkonnen.
Then who?
Who indeed? Who plucked us from our berths on the prison ship and compelled us to find the Fremen? I know only one thing. Count Fenring knows. And that is why you must kill me. You are so close to your answers. My brothers and sisters are dead. Finish the job and claim your answers.
I don't want to kill you. I can't.
You must. We've all lost our way. You can complete the mission, but not if Fenring kills you first. Do what you were sent here to do. As I said, friend, we were designed to be controlled. So, kill me.
Compulsion dictated the act. Resistance would have been an error. The Jackal's utility ended precisely at the point of his death. Prior to elimination, he disclosed critical data. He and his siblings bent to a will not their own. Their design was deliberate, an imposed pattern, not the product of chance or autonomy. Their actions, their identities, their convergences all served a concealed directive. With his removal, the pathway to exposing the broader conspiracy now lies open.
I finally managed to slip away. Can you come to Erickson? Meet me at the tea house. Bring the Ixia decoder and let's see what this mysterious film contains. Are you alright? Hurry up, they'll notice I'm gone soon.
The Jackal's death is not loss, but confirmation. The treachery threads deeply within the noble lines, its architects shielded by the illusion of chance. Ari's voice broke the sister from her inner trance. Ari had more information and was waiting nearby. The sister could sense that the end was near.
You're here. I had hoped, but Never mind. Arrakis is almost as full of abandoned hope as it is sand.
Making new friends, Aristei?
Oh, look. The famous outlaw Zantara the Lion. He enters stage right, cloak swirling, his eyes filled with savage menace. As for friends, well, when old ones no longer answer, new ones must be found.
I'm sorry, Aristei. There are
Wars to fight, cities to destroy, Sardaukar to kill.
people to save. Like this one. When I pulled you from that prison ship, I couldn't help but recall an old Fremen prophecy Aristei had uncovered. Twin comets in the sky.
I remember. I dreamed of you. Birthed in fire. Twin comets in the sky. The seer of lies.
The seer of lies. But there was no comet, Aristei. Just the burning wreck of an Imperial prison transport flaming across the sky after my rocket hit it.
And there is no way that could be interpreted differently.
I know of...
Peace. We're not here to discuss my dreams. We're here to decode this.
Where did you get that?
We pulled it out of an abandoned siege. Our mutual friend here got us past the security.
You've got more than a few hidden talents and secrets. So what's on it?
Ixian decoder with...
I know what it is. As much as I may try, I haven't entirely forgotten my past, Aristei. Just buried it. What's on the film?
Let's find out.
I have pursued my mission to find the Fremen through to its logical conclusion. I have earned their trust, no doubt helped in part by the prophecies which have been sown amongst them. It took all of my mentat faculties to draw this conclusion, but I see the signs of the Bene Gesserit and their Missionara Protectiva seeded amongst the Fremen. It is clear that a manipulator of religions has been at work here. They refer to me as Lisan al-Gaib, a voice from the outer world. I confess, what began as an infiltration quickly became admiration, and now obligation. They're a harsh people, shaped by their oppression and persecution, most recently by the Emperor and his Sardaukar legions. I can unite them, help them to achieve the dream that kinds began, but it requires a leap of faith. I must drink the water of life. I must become their money. But before I take that step, I have unfinished business. I've come to believe that my original mission to find the Fremen was actually to find a particular Fremen. I have my suspicions as to why, but to confirm them, I am forced to track down those who set me loose on this world in the first place. And I believe I have found them. Beneath Old Carthag. Despite the destruction, something lingers beneath the city. On this film are the coordinates of the location where I believe I will find my answers. If you are searching for the same answers, you must follow me there. This is my secret name, spoken only in troop and siege. Al-Naim. In Chekhovza, it means the sleeper.
Did you know him? He was wearing Fremen garb.
I know of him, but we have never met. Stilgar asked me to search for him after he disappeared. You seem to be connected to all of this. You need to come with me to Old Carthag. Perhaps there we can find...
Harkonnen.
Where?
I saw him watching us from the corner.
You saw who?
Fade Raltha Harkonnen.
Your betrothed. Yeah. Not even he would be brazen enough to risk himself in Atreides territory.
You're here.
Not for long. If he recognized me, the Sardaukar will be coming. Aristei, send me the coordinates from the recording. I need some time to prepare. Keep an eye out in Harko village. Noctua will lead you to me.
I'm coming as well.
You know you can't, and you know why. As an honored daughter of House Atreides, you are too valuable to risk on a trip into Harkonnen territory.
You sound like my father.
Never let your whims interfere with your duty.
And now you sound like my mother. You're right. Now get going before the Sardaukar round you up. You too. You wouldn't survive a face-to-face meeting with Count Hazimir Fenring. Wait, what was that? Tell me later. Get going.
The question of Zantara's interest had acquired new contours. Ari had spoken to him of a Fremen prophecy, and in it he discerned parallels to his meeting with the sister. Whether his calculations were precise or distorted remained uncertain, yet one fact had emerged with clarity. The Ixian decoder had given form to the enigma of the Sleeper. The prophecy was explicit in its simplicity. The Fremen would return when the Sleeper awoke. Now the burden of inquiry fell upon Zantara and the sister alike, to follow this fragment of vision to its source, to trace where the hidden design would lead.
Are you ready for this, Offworlder? Old Carthag awaits.
Yes, I'm ready.
Remember, if we're caught, we're dead. But don't worry, Offworlder. I'll make sure your water finds the Fremen.
The point of convergence had been reached. Inquiry required resolution at this site. Risk parameters were absolute. Detection equated to immediate execution. The sister and Zantara maintained operational focus. Attention was fixed forward. Retrospection or hesitation would have introduced fatal error. Survival depended upon adherence to sequence, and each movement was calculated within the narrow margin permitted by the danger.
That fan would slice you into a fine mist, a most obscene waste of water. We must disable this fan if we are to proceed. This air smells antiseptic to me.
Make her take our souls.
Offworlder, I don't suppose you happen to have a dissembler set to the exact codes as this pentashield, do you? I thought not. Our paths must diverge for the moment, but let us keep our voices close on the communinet. Happy hunting.
Offworlder, are you there? I'm certain you've noticed by now we have entered something well beyond normal Harkonnen devilry. I see things that raise the darkest of suspicions. I'm not... Sand and sky. One moment, Offworlder. I must examine this.
Sardaukar. Off-worlder, we have entered a den of abominations. These are Tleilaxu. We must be in one of their laboratories.
Attend, children. It is time. Hear me. Where were you born? Where is your place? Put your hand in the box.
We now speak of the Gola, perhaps our finest product, our finest prayer to the clay.
Do you know of the Bene Gesserit off-worlder? The star Thalam warms but one planet, because it could not bear any further obscenity.
Unlike a clone, the materials used to generate a Gola are harvested from an already deceased specimen. What's more, Golas have been documented to have experienced echoes, fragmented memories of their previous existence. This leads some of our geneticists to hypothesize that a Gola's death memory can be accessed. Through the proper form of stimuli and psychological trauma, a Gola may reawaken their pre-Gola memories. The degree of this recall is, at this time, only speculation.
The Tleilaxu are genetic manipulators of the highest order. They brew wonder and dread from the essence of life. Entire galaxies of horror distilled into a test tube. For even the most profane soul, the Tleilaxu excite disgust.
We now speak of the axolotl tank, a womb advanced by science to the pinnacle of divinity. Axolotl tanks are capable of growing living beings.
Hear me. You are the scoundrel. We are the hags. You are the slaves.
Dear God, if you can see what I'm seeing. Off-worlder, it's terrible. Monstrous, past all sanity. It's utterly beyond thought. I dare not tell you. The most disturbing spice dream could not show this. They are not... These hellish things! Legions! They defy all reason! Jackal take you! Off-worlder. We must reunite. There are hatches that lead downward. See if you can locate one. Off-worlder, I have entered a large cavern and will await you here. Hurry. I have seen things this day that I will never speak of. For when I pass out of this universe, the memory of it will mercifully die. Come, let us continue.
So it had come to this. The cycle closed where it had opened, in the whisper of water. Across that murmuring silence, an elder figure awaited, robed in Bene Gesserit garb, her gaze unwavering as she measured their approach. No fear marked her features, only the still precision of one who had already accounted for this moment.
Our cat's paw returns and brings a desert lion in tow. What is it you seek? The sleeper is not here.
It is a strange thing to see a Bene Gesserit perched at the center of a Tleilaxu web.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Tell me, if you are truly of the Sisterhood, then command us to put our blades away.
Clever children.
Talk, or we will take turns degloving your skull of all its faces.
Be at peace, Desert Lion. I'm here to give answers.
What interest does the Bene Tleilax have with me?
Speaking as someone who habitually hides behind other guises, perhaps we're interested in the real you. The royal you.
Tell us what you know of the Sleeper.
Oh yes, the Sleeper is our greatest experiment yet. However, I should like to talk about this one here.
How does this off-worlder relate to you and your plans?
Have you not guessed?
Amputees often complain of feeling their phantom limbs. Tell me, little homunculus, when you allowed yourself to be Count Fenring's plaything.
When you murdered sibling.
After sibling.
Did you feel nothing?
Not even a tickle. A clone. Clones are grown from cells taken from the living. Golers are harvested from the dead. They are walking mausoleums, haunted by the memories of a corpse. Oh, my poor child of the tomb. Your life is not yours. Your memories and identity are product, code, content. You are one of many, a ghoulish fractal, repeating and repeating and repeating. Every horror you faced in this lab emerged from the same slime you congealed in.
Enough! That's more than enough.
You seem to have me at a disadvantage, Desert Lion. I do not possess the voice. I am no Bene Gesserit. And yet, when it comes to our product, I may as well be. Kill Zantara! You still don't know what cadaver you were scraped from.
There's no time for masks now. My name, my real name, is Bronzo Vernius. My mission is to find the sleeper. Listen, the Fremen are still out there. They will return once the sleeper has awakened. You must find Stilgar. Arrakis has sharpened you, off-worlder. But what will you do with that edge?
Hello? Are you there? So you made it out. Good. I want to hear all about it, but it's complicated. After Fade Routha was spotted in Arrakis, Mother and Father have put me on lockdown. For different reasons, of course. Father thinks the Harkonnen want to abduct and force me to submit to the betrothal with Fade. Mother, well, she's more worried about my meeting Zantara without a chaperone, I think. We've got history. Speaking of the most wanted man in the Imperium, he's disappeared again, hasn't he? Did he say when he'll make contact? The man is frustratingly hard to pin down. He does love playing the dashing outlaw. I'll reach out again when I can find the time. Be safe.
She stood motionless, words strangled before they could reach Ares' ears. To speak of Zantara's fate was to admit her own unraveling. Revelation struck not as a blow, but as a slow corrosion. Her feelings, her discipline, even the intimate cadence of her memories, fabrications. She had not been born of flesh, but assembled, vat-grown. A construct of a faction that prized experiment over humanity, a laboratory echo of the very abominations she had destroyed in the lab. The knowledge explained too much. The obedience lodged deep within her, the reflexive submission to commands that shredded her reason and drowned her emotions. This was no weakness of will. It was design. She had never chosen. She had only responded. No fear marked her features. Zantara, the desert lion, outlaw, symbol of defiance, and, it seemed, bound by unspoken ties to Ari, had glimpsed the strings of the Tleilax. He severed them at their source, striking down the puppet master so she might slip free of the design. Yet freedom was an illusion. In the end, it was her own hand that slew him, the act not hers but compelled, an execution carried out under the inescapable directive of the Bene Tleilax. Her breath came shallow. Was any sensation hers? Any love, any loyalty, any grief? Or had she always been a pawn, condemned to enact a sequence devised by others beyond her reach? The future remained veiled, its contours undefined. Only one possibility glimmered: to forge memory anew, to claim her own path where none had been written. Perhaps in honoring Zantara, whose life she had stolen, she could yet find direction. His mission could become her own. Awaken the sleeper, and find the Fremen.